Yeah, yeah. Yeah, yeah. Yeah. Look, Wrestling 101, classes in session. Pay attention to the teachings, that's from Andrew and Derek. I mean, these guys making a killing with no competition. Dynamic duo better than the Hardy Boys and the Dudley Boys. Everybody make some noise, mess with them, you get destroyed. They cannot be beat, take a seat. Watch them do they thing on the MIC. Face defeat, they cannot be seen like JC. Oh my goodness, it's a killing spree.
This is Razor of WOW, Women of Wrestling, and you're listening to Wrestling IQ 101.
Hey guys, welcome back to another edition of Wrestling IQ 101. I'm Andrew alongside Derek.
Yep.
And you can listen to Wrestling IQ 101 right here on YouTube or typing in Wrestling IQ 101 on iTunes, and you'll see our own banner and our past episodes, new episodes like this one and upcoming ones. Plus, you can follow us on social media at Wrestling IQ 101. And today we're sitting in the garage with Amber Nova. How's it going?
It's going good, sitting in the garage. I love it.
You know, it's actually pretty funny because your dad's a mechanic and so is mine. So,
oh, cool.
But I didn't learn anything that, he didn't pass anything down to me.
Oh, man.
Nothing at all? Not even, like, easy stuff? Tire changes, oil changes?
Some tire changing, yeah, we went through some of that stuff. But, it's funny because my dad also thinks he can fix other things that aren't cars.
Oh,
I don't know if your dad does that.
My dad does. He can fix literally, like, anything. He's fixed lawnmowers, fire trucks. He worked on heavy machinery in the Beaufort, South Carolina air station for many years. I want to say 16 years maybe he worked on the air station in Beaufort, which I'm from the same town as Lacey Evans. Paris Island Marine Base is there, the Beaufort Air Station. We're not a military family, but my dad was a independent contractor for a company on the air station where they worked on all the heavy machinery and they needed skilled mechanics like my father, so...
Nice. Sweet. That's good. That's good. Now, it's I think it's kind of rare that you find like a woman that has like so much knowledge of like cars and stuff like that. And it was just like
whoa. Much knowledge. Whoa.
No, that's what I'm saying. I
do have a good basic knowledge of I know my way around a car.
No, you're like good.
New cars are a lot more difficult.
Uh-huh.
Than what I'm knowledgeable on is more like American Muscle, your classic cars.
I got you. Yeah, no, I was watching you, and you were breaking down like the parts of a car with your Chevy Nova, and I was just like,
they showed pictures of the engine and everything, and I can't take credit. Dad rebuilt everything, and he helped me, but I keep up with it. So
yeah, I had no idea what you were talking about at all. I was like, this is amazing. Do like guys get intimidated that like you know like what you know about cars? Like if you like ever break it down to them?
I don't know if an intimidation. I mean, I think that could be a thing. I think in today's world that women are capable of doing so much now than back in we're talking the 60s or something, but maybe guys get intimidated. Sometimes they feel a little silly or not knowledgeable when I'm talking about a car and they're like, okay, I don't know any of that, so sometimes, but that means somebody could come up to me and start talking about whatever their profession is, and I might not know anything about it. So I don't know if I'd be intimidated if I'm not in that same profession. I would just feel uninformed.
Got you.
Sure. It's really impressive because it's the one thing that makes you kind of stand out because, you're on Monster Radio. I mean, you're doing different things that some of the other women wrestlers are not getting the chance to do. I mean, you're kind of crossing over 3 genres, right?
Thank you.
Right?
I appreciate that. It's actually been a little while since I've been on Monsters in the Morning. My schedule's been busy, but I need to go back on and say hi to Russ and my boys on there. They tell me I'm always welcome. Mm-hmm. And they actually had Rhea Ripley on not too long ago. I want to say the month of December they had Rhea on. So, yeah, I need to jump back on there. Orlando has everything.
Yeah, it's really the thing that really, you stand out. I mean, you can be as physical as you want in the ring and as beautiful on in your pictures and just keep it real, like a casual car expert. It's like crazy, right?
Yeah.
Thank you. I appreciate that compliment. Yeah, I feel like there's no other female that's ever been in professional wrestling or done what I've done, creating my entire brand.
Mhm.
And I did create my brand because back home, you know, I was the girl that drove the Nova. I was the Nova girl, and then I got a different Nova when I came to Orlando, got a little more souped up, and so Amber Nova is my real life and is my brand. And no other girl in professional wrestling, you know, brings out a wrench or a toolbox when she needs to, you know, in the ring or anything like that. So, like, when I have my grease rag and I'm wiping my hands and I'm like, all right, it's time to tune this chick up. Like, I've had enough. Like, I'm serious. And people think it's all, you know, gimmicky or whatever, but it's like I have an actual personality, originality. It's my character. And I love it. And I like to, you know, my dad loves it, and so I appreciate you pointing that out.
Sure.
Yeah, definitely. And it's like you could tell, like, just seeing the character is so natural to you. Like, you could just tell, like, it's who you are, and you know that's where the best, you know, characters come from, when it's like you're just being yourself.
I agree.
Yeah. So, you know, what like drew you to, you know, getting into wrestling? You know, did you have like a moment or something? What made you say, hey, you know what, I'm gonna, you know, be a wrestler and pursue this full time?
Well, I have to say the same way I got into classic cars was my dad. He got me into wrestling, and my sisters and my brother, like, they go to events too with us, and we watch Rey Mysterio and we watch guys and a few of my favorite wrestlers, and they just never stuck with it, like, religiously, like, kept up with it and watched it the way me and my dad would. And it was always in the back of my mind, like, man, I'd love to do that. I wish I could do that. And it's always, I wish I could, right? That's what we always think in life. Oh, I wish I could do that. But then it's like, you know, you really can if you really just put the work in. But there's sacrifices. Like, I had to move away from my friends, my family. I had to leave my career job behind that I worked really hard to get to go after this bigger dream that I've always wanted to do. So there's going to be sacrifices, and the road's going to get bumpy. But, you know, hitting that destination, it'll be beautiful. Or, you know, just, it's not even about the destination. It's just about the ride and enjoying the journey and enjoying the ride. And that's how I always feel. So, you know, I moved to Orlando with a Nova and a dream. And I saw these younger women coming up in the scene, which would be Paige and Sasha Banks. I'm like, whoa, these chicks don't look like China. I don't look like China. You know, maybe I can give this a shot and use my smaller size to my advantage in the ring, just like the bigger girls do. So I looked up what it would take, what I need to do. I did my research, I did my studies, and then I just moved my whole life to Orlando to be a professional wrestler.
Nice.
Sure. When you were watching that with your dad, right? I mean, it's probably like the time with the divas and stuff like that. Were you ever worried that maybe you wouldn't fit in with that style?
Absolutely, because let's see, I made varsity cheerleading my freshman year, and I was like the only other freshman to make varsity cheerleading, except this other girl, but her sister was like a senior and kind of helped her get in. But I didn't like being around mean girls, so I quit, and I didn't stick with cheerleading. I liked volleyball. I like to play hacky sack in the parking lot. Like, mean girl type of stuff, or diva attitude. I've always been like, okay, I can be feminine and sexy without being trashy and flaunting it. And I'm not that kind of, like, I might be sexy with my wrench in my hand and maybe I'm wearing a bikini or something like that, but I want it to be like more of a hot superhero. Like, Nova Girl's a hot superhero with her wrench and her grease rag and empowering young women, but she's also pretty sexy too, but not, you know, I'm not like trashy where I'm flaunting it around. And no disrespect, but I really wasn't a fan of TNA at a certain point in time. Like, that really turned me away from wrestling. And we're talking, I was like a young girl, young female. What was I, like, maybe high school, middle school, and I purposely wouldn't, like, I'd watch it when Sting came on TNA because I love Sting. But, like, if it was like time for the girls to come on, I honestly wouldn't enjoy it at times because it was just too trashy for a young girl like me. And you think some girls might have liked that, but me, I felt like it wasn't as empowering. It felt like it was more belittling. And so some things turned me off. And yeah, like the diva era, some things they've done well, and they've been doing much better with women's wrestling now. I mean, we're taking over. So
yeah, absolutely. Girl power.
Yeah.
You know,
and speaking of TakeOver, that was last night. Did you guys watch it?
Yeah,
it was amazing.
Yeah, Talking about Sting, I heard in a past interview that you also like Goldberg. Are you still excited to see those guys get in the ring today? Or are you excited for Sting and Goldberg and the Fiend?
Oh, hell yeah. I was so stoked when Sting came back and Goldberg. Like, those are my guys. Oh, I loved watching WCW growing up, and I just liked their fuel, their passion. Like, I loved Goldberg's intensity. And I loved Sting's character and also intensity without even having to talk. You know what I mean? Like, it's just... So, yeah, superheroes. When you're a kid watching this stuff grow up, and it's just amazing. And, I'm blessed to say that my body's in really good shape and I'm physically capable to do all these things. And not everybody is. So, and everyone thinks they can be a pro wrestler. It's like, all right, kid, it's not as easy as you think.
Yeah, no, that's definitely for sure. The thing with Goldberg too, he's pretty similar to you as well, because he loves the American Muscle cars as well. If you follow his Instagram and you see the stuff he does outside, he loves cars too.
I want to be doing more with cars. I have some sponsorships. I go to a lot of classic car shows, and I do keep up with them and see that they like. So that's nice to see that some people still appreciate the classic cars. But outside of professional wrestling, my ambitions, I really want to be in an advanced auto parts commercial. Working on that, or just some type of auto parts commercial, or just more marketing with the classic cars with my Nova American Muscle style. So I've been branching out into that kind of field and looking out for that kind of stuff.
Nice. Now, do you think it's important that any wrestler in general, that especially on the independent scene, to like create other lanes like you have done for yourself? So I feel like for you, like, you always have a safety net where if wrestling doesn't work, you can fall back on modeling. You could do the car thing, television, commercials, anything. You know what I mean? You have a world of possibilities.
Yeah, it's a lot harder than people think, but yes, and you have to be able to speak well. And I've done a few commercials just on my own for like wrestling events. Like, we did a classic car show at Ace Cafe, and I had Diva Insider create the commercial for me with the pro wrestling and the classic car show. And, yeah, you have to be marketable. Like, how are you going to make this company money? Why should we hire you? And I'm like, well, I'm a former EMT. I'm a badass classic car driver.
Yeah.
But yeah, like, everybody has a car, right? I mean, cars are really marketable. Auto parts stores, Advanced Auto Parts, Daytona Speedway, any type of car events. And then just basic life support that I'm knowledgeable in as well from being an EMT. That's important. And there's just a lot of like little, I guess, traits that I have that you could say, yeah, like a jack of many traits.
Definitely.
Is that what they call it?
Yeah, jack of many traits.
It's funny because just before you were alluding to superheroes, there was one superhero that you also got in the ring with, and that's Santana Garrett. I mean, how awesome was it sharing the ring with her? Because she's amazing.
That was my very first match. Almost going on almost 4 years ago, I believe. She was my first opponent, and I started actually at the Team Vision Dojo with her and Chase and Rance were my first trainers I stepped into the ring with, and now I'm still at Team Vision Dojo. I train with Eva Lise. I've been trained by Lince Dorado, Jesus Rodriguez, Aaron Epic, Josh Woods. There's so many people that help me, and I learn from so many different styles. Low-key, he comes to the Team Vision Dojo. He'll teach classes. So being in Orlando is just a mecca of wrestling. I can, just learn so many different styles from so many different people and take that with me. But, yeah, my first year, I stepped in the ring with her, and then she was traveling a lot in Japan, so she wasn't around as often. But I got to learn a good bit.
And with you have plenty of opportunities that people wish that they could be on TV or get those contracts. You got to be in Impact Wrestling. How was that experience, and what did you gain from it overall?
That experience was amazing. Gail Kim was my agent. What a amazing moment for me. Like, just to be like, wow, I used to watch Gail, and now she's agenting my matches. So I've definitely done something right, and it was really nice that Impact said that, hey, this girl, we keep inviting her back for a reason, because she can hang in the ring with these other women. So for them to say that about me, that was really nice. And it was my first like TV match was with Allie, and good experience, really great. I actually got to wrestle a few more people there. And then they moved, and they're no longer taping at Universal, but I do hope to be back with Impact, and would welcome the opportunity.
Yeah, it'll be a good time to be definitely. Well, women wrestling in general, it's very big right now. But Impact is definitely putting an eye on that. With Tessa Blanchard and you know Jordan Grace and all the those great women that they have there. Sue Young, they have a lot of great talent there. You definitely fit in perfectly with them.
Thank you, I appreciate that.
A lot of our guests, their favorite food is pizza. Is that like, do you have a favorite food that you like to scarf when you're on the road like that?
I am Italian and Irish, and I grew up on like spaghetti 5 times a week. I love carbs all day, every day. So yeah, pizza, broccoli, bread, spaghetti.
You like Olive Garden meat sauce?
Yeah.
I only eat turkey, chicken, and fish. I actually don't. I cut red meat out, pork or anything like that years ago, just because I never really was a fan of it, and it's really not the healthiest type of protein. It's not really good for you, and I've always felt bad about eating those kind of animals. So I just eat turkey, chicken, and fish. It's the leanest type of protein. It's the healthiest, and I love it. And then I meal prep a lot. Like I cook all my own meals when I can if I'm not traveling. Sweet potato, chicken, stuff like that. So those are my go-to foods. But yeah, I love pizza, carbs. But I'll load my pizza up. I'll put asparagus, broccoli, peppers, onions.
Wow.
I put like a bunch of veggies on my pizza, pineapple, and I make homemade pizza. My mom taught me how.
Really?
So I got that Jersey Italian style to me.
That's awesome. Is there a certain, like, I know you like the classic rock, right?
Oh, yeah.
Is there any shows that you're binging right now on Netflix or TV that you just got to watch?
So I've been a huge fan of this show, Supernatural, for years, and they're on their final 15th season. And unfortunately, I have not seen but like 2 episodes of the 15th season because my DVR crapped out on me for some reason and quit recording it all. So I've missed like so many episodes. With Supernatural, it's 2 hot guys riding around in I think it's a '67 Chevy Impala. So I was like, that's why I started watching the show. I saw 2 dudes standing next to this classic Impala, and I was like, all right, I'll watch this. And the car and the hot guy got me hooked. And I even named my Nova Dean. Secretly knowing now everyone knows.
Oh man!
But I named my car Dean. It was fun.
That's funny.
And I'm a huge fan of the Netflix show You.
It
is such a mind twister, and it's just like it really puts your head in there. Like reading a good book and you just kind of escape. So yeah, the show You is a binge show where you've got to see the next episode. You've got to see the next episode. You just watch it through because you're just like, what happens next? What happens next? So yeah, I'm waiting for season 3 now to come out.
It starts off
not too long.
It starts off so innocent, right? Like he's just seeing what she likes on Facebook,
right? The very first episode. Yeah, the very first episode does start off innocent, and I thought it was really sweet, romantic, a little creepy, definitely a little creepy at first.
Sure.
But it was like, oh, this guy is like been heartbroken before. Maybe he wants to just scope this girl out. It's definitely a little creepy the way he's doing it, but then it's kind of romantic. And then it's like, whoa, it takes a totally different turn. Absolutely. But it's like, okay, now we're crossing boundaries.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
And this last season, you're absolutely right. You gotta watch it because the last season was totally nuts.
Yeah, when talking about shows, when I used to always work, a show I used to always think about was Undercover Boss. And I always used to think, what if my boss, someone higher up, came in, dressed up as somebody else and came in and, monitored me, how would that situation go? You actually have a Undercover Boss story that I don't want to spoil. I want you to tell us about that story. But when I heard it, it was just like such a funny story.
Yeah, that's what happened to me. I was interviewed and picked for a show that was supposed to be like an all-American show. We were just interviewing people, and they came into my dojo and they filmed me wrestling with Evilise, and they filmed my car a bit, and there was this journalist, very tall, blonde hair, long dress, and she got in the ring and was real scared to get in the ring and really like shy. And I get to talking with her, but I keep thinking like, whoa, something's going on. Like, are you really a journalist, or are you just acting with me right now? And like, I'd always go back and forth, and I tried to just talk to her one-on-one. And then they turn the lights on, we pull my Nova in, and she's underneath the car with me, changing my oil, and I'm like, embarrassed to say, like, I had a hard time pulling out my drain plug from the oil pan because it was screwed on too tightly. And she actually helped me break it loose. She had some strong arms. And I go to myself, oh, wow, you're strong, girl, look at you. And she broke that sucker loose like it wasn't nothing. And when we got out from underneath it, I look at her and I'm like, oh, what? And it hit me. It just snapped in because I knew something was up. And I recognized her because I've met her before. And I told the show that I've done extra, I've been booked at WWE and done work with them plenty of times. And yeah, so my segment from the episode was cut from air. It never made air. I had some tough competition. There was another guy, his segment was cut as well from the episode. But if you watch the end credits of Celebrity Undercover Boss with Stephanie McMahon, you'll see me in the background. But then, yeah, like I go up to the producer after I didn't say anything to her because I didn't want to blow it because the camera's rolling. Mm-hmm. So I go up to the producer and I'm like, hey, is that Stephanie McMahon? And he's like, what? Who's that? And I was like, don't play dumb with me, who's that? Everyone knows who she is. They're literally filming me, and I'm a pro wrestler right now at a wrestling school. Come on. And then I got to actually sit down with her one-on-one and chat. She's like, oh, you should have just said something. But then they told me I was the first person she told me I was the first person she filmed with.
Oh, man.
So after that, they put prosthetics all over her face, and they really, like covered her up even more because she wasn't covered enough then.
Wow. Yeah.
And then they did the big, and then here I'm thinking like, okay, you got the family, right? You got the family, you got the kids, you got the other people that were on the show, the other two guys. Mm-hmm. Who was it, Jake? Yeah. Yeah, Jake was on the show with me as well, who just got signed, so congrats to him. His segment made air. But none of them knew it was her. And I was like, I should have let them know ahead of time, yeah, I knew. But I was like, we're literally at the PC right now, and it still hasn't clicked who that might have been. Like, nobody got it.
Yeah.
Like, come on.
Oh, my goodness.
Which was fun for the kids and the family. They were so shocked, and that was so nice and happy. But then I was like, oh, darn, like, I knew, though, the whole time,
Yeah.
And, so that might have done it for me. But they wanted me I had a 4-door 73 Nova, a straight 6-cylinder engine, and they wanted me to go get that souped up Dream Nova. So we got this faster engine, sold that car, got another Nova, same year, and just got my Dream Nova souped up, and I've been doing shows with it, and it's been getting me places. So Nova in a dream.
Nice.
Yeah. When you upgraded to that Nova, was it heartbreaking to release the other one?
A little bit, but then it was like, adios, turd. I'm getting something better.
Oh, man. Yeah, that's hilarious.
You put a lot of work into that other one, right?
Yeah, but, the newer one, we put AC in it and had a nice faster engine. I got all the body work done to it, new paint job, so it looks like really good. And I just got that all filmed on the recent episode that I just filmed with Combustion Chamber, and you can find that on YouTube.
Yeah, it's pretty cool. I was watching that, and I was watching you guys ride it. It was pretty cool. One of the cool things about you said on your days off that you still like to do hot yoga and go to LA Fitness.
I did that yesterday and today.
Yeah. What is hot yoga?
So the temperature in the room is just a little bit warmer than normal, and they have all the windows and doors shut, and it's a group of people. I mean, we'll say like 30 people maybe. It's good class of people. Some of my favorite instructors is Tyler and Barry at OPY. That's Orlando Power Yoga, and they do a 60-minute hot yoga class or 90 minutes. I enjoy both of them, and it's just a bunch of people in a room getting their sweat on. Or like, there's more to it when you're like a yogi. I love the workout. I love the sweat. you just sweat all those toxins out of your body. It's people don't realize how important it is to stretch every morning.
Yeah.
You get out of bed, you should be stretching. Have your cup of coffee, sit there, meditate for 5 minutes, and just stretch. Sit on the floor and stretch out your body, and then get on with your day. Because stretching is so important that you don't realize you're locking up those joints and those muscles and getting tight. That's why I go to a chiropractor. But yeah, stretching and the heat and then the sweating, and it's just like afterwards, when you're done sweating profusely, you feel like you're about to pass out halfway through the practice. That at the end, and you're in shavasana, and you just it's like just like you take that sip of fresh water. It's just that just it's a great feeling. It's a great feeling after you're just totally sweaty and done, and it's a good release. So I recommend it to a lot of people. Obviously, definitely don't rush into it. Go slow, take your time, because it's a lot at first.
Yeah.
You don't want to feel like you're going to pass out, so you're always welcome to go into child's pose at any time and just rest. And I do that all the time. I take it easy, because between going to LA Fitness, gym workouts, traveling, the car rides, the airplanes, the wrestling training in the ring, the wrestling shows, competing, weekly like I've been doing lately, and then not just competing, but then you're doing hot yoga. It's like, whew, my body definitely is overworked.
Yeah.
If that was me, I'd be in the fetal position, not the child position.
Oh man.
But
That's crazy.
I'm trying to get there, so I got to work twice as hard. There's a lot of competition out there.
Sure.
Yeah.
It's cool to see you're holding your own.
Yeah, and
Thank you.
as challenging as that sounds, being an EMT, I could just imagine the challenges of that. How did you become an EMT, and do you have any stories of anything that while on the job that just crazy that happened?
Yeah, so I did medical transport for 2 different medical companies back home in Beaufort, South Carolina. My last one was Shoreline Medical Transport. They were like a family, and I'd work, I used to work 24, 36-hour shifts, no sleep, just running, transporting people from nursing homes to hospitals to Charleston facilities where they needed a higher level of care but needed the monitoring for an ambulance, things like that I would do. And I remember one of my partners, one of the firemen I was working with, when I was brand new, he told me this, and it always stuck with me. And he was like, it's not the things you see on the job, it's the smell.
Oh, man.
And at first I thought, that's probably the opposite for me. And then I realized seeing, giant holes in people's bodies, yeah, it's, obviously not the most appealing thing you want to look at, but the smell of rotting flesh, that was the worst. And you'll smell that, and it's like nothing you've ever smelled.
Oh man, that sounds
I don't have
crazy.
too many crazy stories, just the smell.
Yeah, that I think that makes up for it. That makes up for all the stories right there.
Yeah.
We gotta pick this thing back up because you've been in the ring with so many interesting people like Thea Trinidad, Rosemary, Allie, Casey Lennox, Sienna, Allie, Tyra Valkyrie, Renee Michelle. I mean, you've been in there with so many
Nikki
people.
Cross,
Yeah.
Eva Shirai, Kyrie Sane.
Yeah.
Absolutely. And those,
Yeah.
And and you keep making your mark go bigger and bigger. Who are the ladies that you're looking at right now that need an ass kicking?
That need an ass kicking. All right, so who are the chicks that I want to step in the ring and give a tune up to?
Yeah.
Well, I know if their level of experience compared to mine, it's going to be difficult. But I like a challenge. Mm-hmm. So I want to say Bianca. I'm impressed with Bianca.
Yeah.
Especially last night on TakeOver. And Rhea. But Bianca, she needs a tune-up. And if she ever tried to gorilla press me the way she did Rhea, I would float right behind into that sleeper hold and just choke her out. Boom, 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 go to sleep.
Oh man,
That's what's great about being small.
Yeah, no, for sure. That would
You
definitely
just
that would be a
slide
good
around
match.
people and flip around like it's nothing.
Yeah, that would definitely be a good match. I would definitely.
She's a
enjoy that.
powerhouse, though.
Yeah.
So that's why I'd like the challenge, because she's such a powerhouse, and I'm so small and so quick that I would just flip around her like a spaghetti noodle. But If she catches me in one good thing, yeah, it's gonna take me down. Because she's, like I said, she's a powerhouse. I like a challenge.
Yeah.
You're gonna have to keep your eyes peeled to the TV for that future matchup. I can't wait to see it.
Yeah, for
There
sure.
you go.
You know, one thing that's good about, you know, being on the independent scene is like you can kind of make those fantasy matches come true a lot easier. You know, if say, you know, someone just books the match for you. Do you prefer like being on the indie scene, or is that still like your goal to be like, hey, I want to get signed to a WWE or AEW or, you know, Impact Wrestling? Is that still a goal of yours or a dream of yours?
That's absolutely a goal of mine, to just be consistent and have a home at a TV company, preferably. You know, like I've always watched WWE and my eyes are set on them. But I know it's not the end all be all for me. Like I have so many options out there, and right now I'm just getting a lot of international experience because that's what I was told to do. That would be best for me. So in the last 6 months, last year I went to London, South Africa, and Panama.
Nice.
And I'm going to just keep trying to get my international experience and just try to learn as many techniques and traits and styles that I can from all over the world and everybody, which is going to create Nova's personal ring style. And it has done that so far in the last 4 years.
Absolutely. Let me ask you my last question. Who are you going with, Charlotte or Rhea?
Oh, man, the Queen. I'm going to have to go with the Queen.
The Queen is, she's so amazing. I love her so much.
I'm going to say that just because of her experience. You know, she's got so much more experience than Rhea, and I think Rhea's going to be a really great opponent, and it's going to be a kick-ass match. But I do believe Charlotte, she's got that more experience, so we'll see.
Definitely. It did. Since he asked that one, I gotta follow it up with this one. Since you picked from that one, Shayna Baszler versus Becky Lynch. It hasn't been made official yet, but you know,
Right.
us
They've
nerds,
been,
we know
giving us
that's gonna
teasers.
happen. Yeah.
They've been giving us
They've been giving us more than a tease. Yeah. So if you got to pick between those two, who you taking?
You know, like when it happened with Rhonda, I wasn't sure, and Becky took that one, and I don't know. That's definitely a tough call. I don't know. That could go either way, you know?
Yeah, no, I hear you on that one.
Yeah. Well, you know, we really want to thank you, Amber, for taking up the time and talking with us. You know, we got to learn so much about you. Where can people get you on social media if they want to hang out with you?
Yeah, follow my social media. It's Amber Nova 73, or just you can YouTube my matches, Amber Nova. So Amber Nova 73. No, I was not born in 73. It's because of the year of my Nova.
Yeah.
And thank you for doing your research on me. A lot of people have actually interviewed me before and said, "Hey, why Nova?" And I'm like, "Really? Have you seen anything about me before? Nothing? Do you follow me online? Have you seen a photo of me?"
Yeah.
So thank you. Obviously, Amber Nova, because I'm the Nova girl that drives your American muscle classic car. So follow me, Amber Nova 73, and this has been great. Yeah. And I appreciate you guys.
For us, we like to thank you for listening to this episode. You can check us out Instagram, Twitter, Facebook at Wrestling IQ 101. You can listen to this great interview, all of our other great interviews, past, present, and future. Make sure you like, subscribe, and follow. And for this episode, we are out.
See ya.